top. Hey guys, Denise here, back with another astrology video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Earth. First, we're going to talk about the element itself so that you can become more familiar with how to identify Earth and earthy things within yourself or other people. And then we're going to talk about some self-care tips that might help you if you are a heavily earthy person. So maybe if you have a stellium in an Earth house or in an Earth sign, or if you have maybe Saturn in the first house or an Earth moon, this might relate to you. But we all pretty much have some Earth in our charts. And if you don't, well then maybe you could learn something about Earth people in this video. So let's get right into the video. So Earth is the element within us that stabilizes us and brings us down to Earth. It calms us and centers us. Whenever we are grounded, we are connected with the Earth element. It is the most basic thing, basically. It is what enables us to function in everyday life. If you lack Earth, you might struggle with maybe finding a job or getting to work or taking your job seriously, because all of those things are earthy things that are just normal for Earth people. So Earth is constant, it is stabilizing, it is solid, supportive, and tough. And I say tough because the Earth element is concerned with practical things, like things that you could see and you could touch, things that you could eat. Earth people and the Earth element is not really concerned with feelings. It is more so concerned with protecting your health, with protecting your existence, because think about the things that Earth does. So Earth protects you physically, but it also, like I said, feeds you, because if you don't eat, you die. So Earth people are very practical. They are concerned with practical matters, and they might not necessarily be inclined to think about hopes and dreams or feelings very much, because they're just like, what does that have to do with me getting my rent paid on time so that I'm not evicted? Like, I don't understand. That is more of an earthy thing. And whenever I talk about the elements, I always like to say that your element is the currency that you expend in your day-to-day life. And the funny thing is that for Earth people, their element might actually be, their currency might actually be currency. It might be money, because Earth people are concerned with having enough resources to support themselves. And this is very important, because sometimes, especially in the spiritual community, we talk about money as if it is just like, oh, you care about money? You charge for readings? Like, oh my God. And I'm just like, you don't eat food? Like, do you not pay money to buy food to eat? It makes no sense to me why anyone would question why somebody would charge for services. We live in a currency-based world where we exchange currency for goods in order to support ourselves. So Earth people are concerned with Earth things that are going to help them survive. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that these people are going to be materialistic, that they're going to have flashy things, that they're going to want to drive a Mercedes or anything. Earth people don't tend to be that way. They're more concerned with, well, is it a good value? Is it good? How long is this car going to last me? Are the tires strong? Like, is this, does it get a good safety rating? Those are the things that Earth people are concerned with, because they are concerned with survival, essentially. Earth is the element that ensures your survival. It is concerned with safety, security, and just basic needs. It's like the bottom of Maslow's pyramid. That is Earth. And as I said, whenever you are not taking care of yourself, you're essentially expending your currency and not refilling it. And for Earth people, their currency is their presence and their peace. I say this because I say that we spend our currency on other people and ourselves. So for Earth people, they have a very stabilizing force whenever they're in somebody's life. So whenever an Earth person shows up, just having them there is going to make the other person feel better. Like whenever there's a problem, if you call an Earth person, just hearing them talk is going to make you feel more calm, because Earth people tend to be calm because they're very rational. They are not going to get emotional about, even if Virgo is nervous. Virgo is a nervous sign because it is ruled by Mercury. So people are going to look at Denise like, Virgo's super nervous. What are you talking about? They're very calm. Yes, Virgo is nervous, but it is still in a practical sense because Virgo is thinking about all of the possibilities that might go wrong in order to fix them before those things actually go wrong. So that
I'm so sorry for not including this, but I absolutely must say that for an earth person, time is money. So if they're giving you their time, they are absolutely spending their currency on you. Time is money, especially for an earth person. So don't forget that.
So just their mere presence is going to be a type of currency. And another thing that they provide is peace, like I said, because they're going to calm you down whenever there's a problem, especially. And lastly, earth people can have a tendency to provide actual material security. They can pay your bills for you. They can help you out. They can give you a ride because they're dependable. These people are dependable, and they need to make sure that they're taking care of themselves so that they can continue being these dependable people, and not just for others, but also for themselves. So now let's get into the self-care tips. So the first thing that I want to talk about in terms of self-care for earth people is setting goals, and planning for those goals is so important. I don't know how much you guys follow like the law of attraction and manifestation, but this is something that I'm a Capricorn rising, and I really, using a planner and writing my goals in my planner and how I want my week to look, it is like a magical ritual for me. And I shouldn't even say like, because it is my magical ritual that I do every single Monday morning. And I really recommend it for earth people, because earth people, we tend to be concerned with the long term. We tend to be concerned with, how is our future going to look? Are we going to have enough food, enough money to pay for this bill, to pay for the house in the future, to pay for all the things that we need in order to feel safe and comfortable? We are concerned with those things. So whenever we take the time to plan, it kind of calms us down, especially if we are more nervous, if we are the Virgo. I feel like Taurus might not be so nervous, but still Taurus, if you implement the practice of planning things, it is really a wonderful way of kind of manifesting in a way that is simple and straightforward and still practical and useful. So I like to make my yearly goals, my 6-month goals, my monthly goals. And whenever I do that, it kind of helps me put my vision for the future on paper. And it's always a really nice reminder to have. So I really think that should be an important part of your self-care. If you're an earth person, taking the time to plan and putting it down on paper, because we're very physical people. We are practical. We like to see things on paper. So seeing your plans on paper, how much is this going to cost? How long am I going to have to save in order to buy this car or to take that vacation? Doesn't have to be a practical thing. Whatever it is that you're trying to reach, if you actually take the time to plan it and write it down, you're going to see that it's going to be very positive for you. And you could also take that time to be a little bit more woo-woo and manifest things that you would like to see in your future, things that maybe aren't there right now, but you'd like to see them in the future. Then do some magical planner rituals. I am 100% into planner rituals and planner magic, because I just think writing in a planner is magical, and I highly recommend it for every single earth person because it really works for me. And lastly, I also want to say, for the earth people, I've seen people are kind of going against the productivity mentality now. They're just like, oh, you don't always have to be productive. Like sometimes you can just be calm and all this stuff. And I'm just like, it's really great for people to say that when they're like sitting on the top, like when they're very wealthy and they're very successful and they're kind of burned out and tired. But if you're an earth person and you're barely like climbing, you're a Capricorn and you're climbing on your little mountain, and somebody's all the way up there and they're like, oh, you need to work less, like you're working too much, like that's not cool, like productivity culture is bad for you. And then like the Capricorn person is just like, yeah, it's easy for you to say because you're sitting at the top. So don't listen to people like that. If you're not where you want to be, don't listen to that. Like keep working until you are where you want to be, because don't you want to die proud, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus? I know you do, especially Capricorn and Virgo. You want to die proud. So don't listen to those people who are already successful. They're at the top and they're just like, you're working too hard. Like productivity culture is bad for you. And I'm just like, please. Okay. So that was super shady of me. Anyways, let's go into the extra strength. So I like to balance things out. So for Earth, I want you to connect to the other elements. So the first thing you want to do is use fire. Actually move on your plan. So especially like Taurus and Virgo and Taurus. Virgo has a tendency to want everything, because you think so much about details, you want every single detail to be lined up before you actually make your move, Virgo, especially Virgo midheavens. I notice that a lot. Virgo midheavens want everything to be absolutely in place, and perfection is never going to be reached, Virgo. Just remember that. It's just not going to happen. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. And you're going to keep tinkering, and you're not actually going to use your fire and move towards your goals. So I really want to encourage you to set time limits. So I'm going to work on this and tinker with it until this day. And after this day, it doesn't matter how it looks. I'm going to ship it. Ship it. Shipped is better than perfect, Virgo. Remember that. It's a really good quote. Oh God, I'm forgetting the author, but it's an amazing book. And shipped is better than perfect basically means that whatever it is that you're trying to make, if there's a book you're trying to write, a YouTube video you're trying to make, a song you're trying to write, or you're gonna interview at a job, shipped is better than perfect. So shipped meaning that you actually produce the thing that you want to produce. Doing it and producing it however it's going to come out is going to be better than perfect, because if you keep trying to reach perfection, you're not actually going to reach it, and you're actually not going to put it out there. So just remember that. And another way you could use your fire, if you have been very stagnant and you need to move around, get the fire going, because that energy is going to be positive for you building momentum, especially Taurus. Taurus has a tendency to struggle with momentum, with building momentum. So getting yourself physically going, doing some exercise and moving around is going to encourage that kind of fire flowing element to be more present in your life and your body. So the next thing is that Earth person, you need to make sure that you're resting, because just like Taurus can be a little too stagnant, Capricorn and Virgo can do a little too much. They could do too much and then frazzle themselves. I think this is where they could learn from Taurus. Taurus knows how to work very hard because they have a lot of endurance, but they know how to rest because they know that if they rest, then they can go for longer. And Capricorn, and because it's cardinal, and Virgo because it's ruled by Mercury, you guys have a tendency to just work and want it and feel like you have to do so much in order to accomplish anything. But look at Taurus. Remember that if you rest, you're going to have more energy to do things better and to do things longer. So remember that. And lastly, don't forget to connect with the water element and dream. Make yourself have like those dreams that you had when you were a kid before you became too practical, before you became too jaded, Capricorn. So give yourself time to actually go back and dream things that you can certainly accomplish, especially when you have a very earthy, practical way of accomplishing things. So if you have a really big dream, you have to understand that you can accomplish it as long as you work hard towards that dream. You're bound to get somewhere if you're working hard. And if you're an Earth person, you are hardworking. So you don't have to be afraid that like, oh, this is a pipe dream. The pipe dream situation is more for people who don't have Earth in their chart, who are just out there in la la land, and like reaching something that is far-fetched is going to be more difficult for them, because they're really going to have to wrestle and bring some earth into their life to make things practical and attainable and achievable. But you, if you're an Earth person, you know that you have practical skills and you know how to save up, you know how to budget your time, budget your money, and not waste time. Earth people don't waste time, especially not Capricorn. You don't waste your time. So give yourself time to dream, time and space to dream, and write it in your planner, manifest it. So yeah, that's all that I have for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, if this helped you, let me know in the comments so I can know that these kinds of videos are useful for you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.